What's up, video land? What's up? What's up? Or should I say more eloquently, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. And I am here today very excited about my virtual training course that I'm doing tonight. I get an opportunity to have some fun, guys. When I say have fun, there are like games that I play when I teach money classes, and I get to do it virtually today. I cannot wait. Where y'all, I'm on my way because I use cups and straws and marbles and we make it fun. So I'm on my way to the party store, y'all. I can't wait to get all the little fun things. And if you're a member in this group, or if you're wanting to be a member in this group, I'll give you the information a little bit later, but get ready because I'm gonna put the list up. So if you want to do this with me, this can be a 3 to 5 hour training, guys. And it's part of my Money Does Matter group, and it's about me helping my tribe, salon owners, salon professionals, barbers, estheticians, anybody really in kind of a creative client by client transactional business. That means we only get paid when we make that transaction. That's it. They don't come, we don't get paid. I want to talk to you all about a conversation I had with my husband this morning, and it made me think about how a lot of us think when it comes to money. I went to an entrepreneur conference yesterday. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was really great. It was mainly for entrepreneurs, but you know, obviously there were a lot of hairstylists there, barbers, people in this industry. But it was the bomb. It was in Atlanta, and packed out, great speakers, everything was great. And let me tell you what we sometimes get mixed up. My husband asked me, he said, how was the conference? I said, conference was the bomb. It was good. It was great. Packed out, excellent speakers. I didn't even say packed out first. Let me say the order that I said it in. I said it was great. I did good. Got some great networking opportunities. You know, made some money. Great speakers. I think I had all these other things to describe it. But then I said, and it was quite a few people there. It was packed out. So his comment was, because he's accustomed to me, you know, when you're in this game of entrepreneurship and you do conferences and classes and shows, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So he understands that sometimes you do take a loss. So his comment was about how many people do you think, or the question about how many people do you think were there? I said, maybe about 100 something, almost 200. He said, oh, well, good. It's good that, you know, that the girl that did it didn't take no loss. And I said to him, I said, how do we know that? How do we know that she didn't take a loss? I pray that she didn't, because this is an associate of mine, Tish Sutton, who, you know, I wanted to do well in everything she does. But this is what it made me think. It made me think about all of the people that I talk to, all of the people that I coach, people that I just kind of run around and we meet in different spaces and they talk about things that they went to. And it's amazing how people get caught up in what it looks like. They get caught up in what it looks like. If it's a lot of people, we assume they made money. If somebody got a lot of clients, we assume they're doing well. If you go somewhere and it's packed out and it's a line all the way down the block and around the corner, we assume that they're making money, that they're profiting, that they're clearing. Let me tell y'all something. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Let me tell you what I have learned since I have laser focused, or as Dave Ramsey says, become gazelle focused on money, how it moves, what comes in, what goes out. There is something in the money world called hard numbers. This is when the smoke clears and I done took out everything I gotta buy, everybody I gotta pay, every tax I gotta cover, what insurance I gotta cover, whatever. If it's gas, because somebody had to come from there to here, what union do, it is an endless list of expenses in this thing we call entrepreneurship. Let me tell y'all something. I am constantly trying to get people that I coach to look at what I call hard numbers. Because I'm going to tell you about the money trinity and how that came to be. And it really spun out of this type or these types of conversations. When you look at a place, when you look at someone and they may be making a lot of money, maybe not, it doesn't mean anything until you know what was actually left in the kitty after the smoke clears. So let me give you an example. And I want to give you a name. I want you all, this is a video that I think is great. I think I'm going to copy it so I can share it. There's a young guy on YouTube whose name is Ryan Schreiber. You all should check out his videos. He's 27 years old. I guess he's a millionaire. I don't know, but he sounds like he's pretty financially stable, which I'm going to talk about that. And he has this video called $100,000 is the New Broke. And it is so profound to me because it really, he breaks it down. It really shows how people think when they making money that they all of a sudden have arrived. Now, first of all, $100,000, that's a decent salary, but you ain't rich. You ain't even wealthy at $100,000. So let's not get it twisted. But he shows you how easily, and he just demonstrates regular stuff that we all pay for, do, and how easily you can go through money, any amount of money. There's a reason why they have statistical data now about lotto winners and how lotto winners come into all this money and all of a sudden their money is gone and they don't know what to do. And you like, how in the world, this is what people say, how in the world can they be broke when they have $50 million? It's easy. Okay, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. But what I want everyone listening to this is to understand one thing. If you don't change the way you think about money, if you don't understand hard numbers, if you don't know all of what goes in and all of what goes out, and understand how to fall below that by a measurable percentage, then I don't care how much money you made, you are going to be broke. And you are going to, as my husband so eloquently said, take a loss. It doesn't matter. So I went on to explain to him, we have no idea if she had to pay those speakers. We have no idea if she had to cover hotel. The place was amazing. So we have no idea how much this place cost to secure. We don't know how much money she had to pay to these people that's helping her work. We don't know anything. So until you have real numbers, you cannot say whether something did well or not. You can say, I hope it did. Okay, let me put that in y'all terms, my salon owners. I'm going to give you one good example. I had a girl that I was coaching, and all she knew was that she was making X amount of dollars. I'll just throw out a figure because I don't remember exactly. She may have been making from her employees as well as what she was doing, maybe about $200,000 in a year. Now, $200,000 seemed like a good piece of scratch, right? But let me tell you what happened. She looking at soft numbers. She looking at what it looks like. I got 9 booth renters. I got 2 commission, I believe. And, you know, they're paying decent, what seemed to be decent booth rental. And the commission people were on a pretty decent, not perfect, commission scale. And she had a little bit of retail. And this. Anyway, after I did her numbers, that's the first thing I do when you come coach with me, is I look at your numbers for real. We ain't talking about what it looks like. We talking about what it is for real. By the time I got through with all her expenses, we talking about rent, utilities, cleaning, taxes, all these other things. The list goes on and on. For those of you all that are salon owners, y'all know the spiel, right? And forget the X factor, stuff that happens that you just couldn't prevent. By the time the smoke cleared, let me tell you where she was in the red. She was in the red by what she should have been getting from her booth renters of $38 per renter per week. So you do the math. She should have been charging $38 more per week per renter just to, I ain't talking about to make a buku profit. I'm talking about to be stable. I'm talking about to not have to come out of her pocket with the difference. So you do the math. $38 times 9 times 4 or 5 weeks. You do the math. That is how much she was short. And what was happening was, with all this money she was making, she had no idea why she had to use so much of her own service money every single month to cover bills. And to add insult to injury, the rent was about to go up in, I think, about 3 or 4 months. to an additional $500. So now she's panicking, like, what am I gonna do? Because now the rent gotta go up. I now know, because we looking at hard numbers, that I'm $38 in the hole per week by each booth renter. OMG. Now, when people would walk into her spot, they say, oh, she booming in here. She got full staff, all her chairs filled, everybody in here doing it, got customers. It looked like she was straight, but she wasn't. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. Until you actually look at your money for real, you will never be able to get to what we call the money trinity. You will never be able to be financially stable first. Then you should want to be financially secure. Then you should aspire to be financially free. They are not the same. They do not require the same thought process. They do, but all of them require you to change the way you think. Let me explain. I actually taught this a little bit at the conference. I only had an hour and I had a whole grove of people that signed up for my virtual training tonight, because I'm going to show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Let me break down first what is financially stable. I'm going to give you the definition. That's how I'm going to do it. You live slightly beneath your means because you are well aware of the fact that things that make someone financially stable start with having just a little bit of extra wiggle room. Just a little now. You ain't going on no mad vacations all year for your budget and your savings and maybe to pay off a little bit of debt. That's just being stable. Being financially stable is simple. If you got $100,000 coming in, that just means that you got to have no more. And when they say slightly below your means, I usually tell people you need to live about 10% below what you can afford. You cannot live at the top of what you can afford. So everything coming out should not exceed 90 grand a year. That means you got to have at the end of the year, your end of year statement or your bank account should have at least $10,000 in it if you are living financially stable. If you don't, that means you robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I'm going to show them today when I do my virtual training. If you interested, you can tap the link in the beginning of this. It starts at 7 p.m. promptly. I'm going to show you. I use cups, straws, marbles. We have fun with it. And I'm going to show you just how we rob Peter to pay Paul. We do it all the time, and we don't understand why the mortgage is behind, why the car note is behind, why we got to use every grace period. Look, I used to have a statement when I didn't understand this money thing. I used to say, God gave us grace, so I'm going to use my grace period. I used to justify that behavior, right? When it wasn't justifiable because I was not living financially stable. Now, if you want to be stable, that's the minimum that you got to do. That means if you make $100K, that means everything you got going out, your staff, if you paying for 2 places, your house and your business, your taxes, everything you have has to be $90,000 out the door or less. That means if you spending $100,000 plus, that means you are in the red, and I don't care how it look. That means I don't care if you got a full staff. I don't care if you got the baddest crib in the neighborhood. That means you are living beyond your means, and that means you will never be financially stable. We got a whole world of people that are living and existing this way, and whether they want to admit it or not, they ain't sleeping at night. Statistical data, and I've done many statistical data searches, says that the second, and I ain't even gonna say the second, because it says 53% of the world's stresses, and it said Americans, but I believe it's the world, is due to financial problems. The first one, and it's 54%, so they only a percent different, is due to just having too much responsibility. Second would be problems with finances, and a lot of that is because we got to change the way we think. We have to change the way we see money. If we don't, we'll never get there, guys. We will never be financially stable. I just said stable. I ain't said nothing about even being financially secure. That's a whole nother way of thinking. So quit looking at stuff. Quit looking at what people got on and thinking they got money. I don't care if you Gucci down. First of all, half the stuff people got on from Gucci, from Prada, it ain't even real. So it's like, why are we getting all excited about when a person tells me, and I don't knock nobody's dream, and I'm excited for what people are excited about. But when a person comes to me and says something like somebody just bought, see, I didn't had all that Rover, Benz, I didn't had all that stuff. When somebody says somebody just bought a new car, my first comment is, did they pay cash for it? Or did they just get another bill? Which one was it? Because if you already ain't financially stable and you go get another car that because you made $2 extra, now you go get a higher car note, that's not smart. There is something, and I want you all to look this up. It is called financial deflation. That means every time you make more money, you cannot go spend more just because you made more. Every time you get a raise at your job, or every time you do a price increase, you do a price increase at your job to have more money in the kitty, not to go buy a bigger house, bigger car. At some point, you gotta let you, if you just want to be stable now, we ain't even said nothing about being secure or free. But if you want to be stable, you have to let your money grow beyond your desires. You have to say, you know what? I got the little extra stash, but I'm going to go ahead and ride this car till the wheels fall off. I'm going to go ahead and let that grow a little bit. That's what's called financial deflation. That just means that you don't keep spending more as you make more every single time. Let it grow a little bit. Let it give you some wiggle room. And then if your car, you really need a new car, just want one, make sure it's in your budget, then you go buy one. But what do? Every time we get a couple extra dollars, we just instantly thinking about what we going to buy. You will never be financially stable if you don't do that. And let me tell y'all something. If you don't sit down, I don't care if it's with me, I don't care if it's with somebody else. If you don't sit down and look at hard numbers, real numbers, I'm talking about, you see this here? This is the Starbucks that I made. I realized I was spending $6,000 a year on Starbucks. I said, unless I got stock, that is absolutely ridiculous. I went right in Starbucks. I said, how much that machine cost that y'all use? They told me $600. Cool. I bought the machine. I even went and bought some Starbucks cups when I first did it to make me feel like I was drinking Starbucks. I now make it at home. That's $6,000 a year now I can put in the kitty. And that don't mean take the $6,000 and swing it somewhere else, stupid. That means let your money sit for a minute. Let it sit. Quit trying to impress people. You broke, they broke. Stop it. Okay? That's what I want to say. That's just being stable, y'all. We ain't even talking about secure. I'm talking about stable. So let me go to what financially, and I'm gonna break down. There are things that you have to actually think about in order to be financially stable. If you join my virtual training, it ain't free either. Yes, you gotta pay for it. You hit the link up top where it says form site. You'll be able to have access to the link. I'll put you on, and we're gonna be 3 to 5 hours. And I'm gonna give you real stuff. I ain't gonna talk at you. I'm gonna give you some real stuff to do. All right, let's talk. That's the money trinity, guys. Let's talk about being financially secure. Whole different mindset. And let me say this, money is an intellectual experience. Until you can start looking at your money intellectually, you will stay broke. You will stay where you're not financially stable because you will constantly make emotional decisions that make no sense and that constantly take away from the pot but never add to it. Emotional decisions will have you in bankruptcy, in the hole, broke, on the street. Trust me, I done been there, done it. It ain't much y'all can say y'all done that I ain't tried. I'm a risk taker. So let me tell you, I had to learn to take calculated risk. And that means I had to look at real numbers, real figures, and quit thinking I could afford something that I actually could not afford at that time, okay? So listen to financial security. Financial security refers to a peace of mind when you are not worried at all about your income being enough to cover your expenses. That means I know I got this. I done the hard numbers. I know I got this. And I know I got at least 10% over. It also means that you have enough to cover savings, emergencies, and now start putting money away to invest in your future goals. The only way you're going to be able to do this is if you make $100,000, you cannot spend out of that 100 more than $80,000 in a year. That means you got to fall about 20% lower than what you actually bring in. And there are real ways to do this, guys. It is absolutely, unequivocally necessary if you want to be secure. That means, oh, I got the bills is paid. I'm good. I ain't worried about that. Now I'm on a whole nother page. I'm on the page now. I just need to save me some extra cash so I can buy a piece of real estate, so that I can invest in a CD, so that I can invest in this training that's going to make me more money. Whatever it is you want to do. But you got to have some money in the kitty, or you're going to play the robbing Peter to pay Paul game over and over and over again, and it is never going to stop. That is what is going to happen if you do not learn how. But you can't skip steps now. You got to be financially stable first. That means, again, for those of you, I see some just came on, you got to look at hard numbers. You can't just eyeball it and say, oh, I think I got enough. No. And you cannot just look at your gross profit. You don't even know what you got when the smoke clears with the necessary stuff, or what we call COGS. The necessary stuff you got to have to take care or to pay your bills. You got to take that off the kitty first. That means for my salon professionals, you can't work without shampoo, conditioner, neck strips, towels, pay your rent. You got to take that stuff out the kitty first. And then let's see what we got left over. But you got to do real numbers. Are y'all with me? Or if you're not financially stable, which is the first part of the Trinity, you will never be financially secure. And what happens is, I know people that ain't even stable, and then they go take this money and they go drop it on. And I'm not talking about, there are times in our lives where God gives us opportunities and we have to jump off bridges and take risks, and we ain't got time to think about it, and prayerfully it works out. But what I'm saying is, you cannot do that every day, every week, every time something just comes your way. You cannot live like that, or you will stay broke and behind the 8 ball and filing bankruptcy and never able to retire, never able to even cut back. It ain't nothing worse than seeing a 60, 70-year-old hairstylist that hate being there, and they got to be there. They disgruntled, they mean, because they don't want to stand up for 16 hours a day, but they ain't got no choice, okay? So that's just being financially stable, guys. Financially secure. Now let's talk about being financially free. And this is a whole different. If you join my virtual training tonight, you will get me. It's probably going to be about 5 hours, y'all. I say 3. It don't never be 3. It's always longer. Let me tell you what financially free is about. Everybody says they want to be financially free. You cannot be financially free until you are first financially stable, and then next you got to be secure. Now we going into freedom, because there is a mindset that has to change with every leg of this Trinity. Let me read what financial freedom is. Financial freedom means, listen to me good, you can maintain your desired lifestyle. That means I can live like I want to live without a regular paycheck. That means I ain't got to worry. I can do what I want to do, and because I done created some stuff that makes me money while I sleep. What we call this, in other words, the financial freedom we talking about is called the 21st century definition of retirement. That is when you got 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds that are literally able to take vacations and they still making money. They ain't got to worry about whether staff gonna get paid or this and that. When I say that is an entirely different mindset, you have to start thinking about everything differently. You got to start leveraging stuff differently. You have to start doing everything with a different mindset. But this is a maturity. In order to get from being financially stable to financially free, to financially secure, to financially free, you have to intellectually mature and start seeing money as a tool and not just as a means to flex. You got to see money as a way to start creating from generational wealth, to the ability to help your community, to the ability to give back, to the ability to build business, you got to start looking at it for more than just means to buy shoes and clothes. And ain't nothing wrong with that stuff. I like looking good too. But you cannot look at money as just a way to buy a bunch of depreciable stuff that has no value, creates no stability, and at the end of the day, you got a closet full of stuff and you ain't sleeping, you're struggling, you're stressed, you mean. This is what happens, guys. This is what happens. I am tired of seeing people and even getting people that I've coached. I am a coach that I don't care nothing about taking your money. I will literally put you out of coaching if I get to the point, and as far as I'm concerned, you are making no effort to get yourself in a better financial position so that you can do what it is that you claimed you were going to do. I recognize that everything in life is about timing. I recognize that at the times that people even come to me and they cry and I do this interview and they're perfect candidates for us to get this thing together, I fully recognize that they may not be ready to make the necessary shifts at the time. Because let me tell you one thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get free from what people think. You're going to have to get free from wanting to look the part and not be the part. You're going to have to get free from wanting to look rich and not actually have the money. You're going to have to get free from that illusion. It is an illusion. You can make more money doing less sometime than actually doing more. You can make more money having less people than actually having more people. I had a conversation at the entrepreneur conference yesterday with a girl who says she's opening her salon in March. I asked her, and she has, I think, 3 stations or something. And I asked her, I said, well, if you open it in March, you got employees? Because that should be your first priority right now. Not your chairs, not the furniture. You can get furniture anywhere. You can order furniture on Amazon. Ain't nothing hard about that. I said, your first priority now should be employees. She said, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about, I just watch so many things go down with employees. I said, well, then, why you don't go on a suite then? If you don't want to deal with employees, why are you getting a salon? She had already ordered the furniture. So why are you ordering 3, 4, 5 chairs if you have no desire to actually put bodies in them? She said, well, and I hear this all the time, y'all. Let me tell y'all how ignorant this is. And I'm saying it to anybody who think like this. Yes, it is ignorant to think this way. Her comment, well, I looked at my money and I figured I could pay, if ain't nobody in there, I could pay all the bills. I said, okay. I said, do you also pay the bills at home? She said, yeah. I said, then you just added expenses to the pot, right? Because ain't nobody helping you. She's single. If ain't nobody at home paying the bills but you, that means now all you got is 2 rents. Because I asked her, did she own her home? She said, no, she rent. I said, are you going to own this shop, this building? She said, no, she rent. I said, okay. You got 2 rents, 2 electrical bills, 2 gas bills. I ask her everything. Do you pay the gas bill? Do you pay the water? She even pay water. You got 2 water bills. You got 2. I broke it down. I said, does that make sense to you? She thought about it. She said, I guess you're right. I said, talk to me in 3 months. I ain't even gonna say 6. I used to say 6. Talk to me in 3 months when them 2 rents, 2 water bills, 2 light bills, 2 gas bills, 2 this, 2 that is kicking your butt. Holler at me then. Holler at me then. I told her, and this was just free. I said, I can show you talking about suite. And then she gonna say this. She gonna say, well, suites, I think they just charge too much, this, that, and the other. I said, okay. You got some suites out there that's high. I ain't anti-suite, but I don't think it's for everybody. I think you need to be in a certain space. I said, okay, let's look at it like this. You got a suite. You pay one price. Let me tell you what that one price pays for. It pays for rent. It pays for all your utilities. It pays for all the toilet paper, all the garbage bags, all the cleaning, other than in your little suite. It pays for all the taxes. Every time plumbing goes bad, it takes care of that and you ain't got to fix it. Every time somebody busts a window, you ain't got to pay a deductible for somebody to fix your stuff. Every time your electrical goes out or something blows, I'm in Chicago. We got pipes that burst. Do you not understand? I told her that this ain't your house. When you rent a commercial space, all of that is on you. 99% of the time. When the hot water tank go out, they got to take care of it, not you. When the furnace goes out, they got to take care of it, not you. I know commercial spaces that I didn't have to put central air units in that control my space, because in a commercial space, all that is not part of your rent. They will take, and that usually is in your lease. Now, if you got a landlord that's covering all that, God bless you. But it is not the norm. Most people in commercial spaces have to take care of all that on their own. You hear me? I done had to replace meters in commercial spaces because I wasn't able to get enough electrical for the amount of people I had in there. So y'all, walls, You mess around getting mold because something flooded. When that piece of wall got to be cut out because there's mold in there and it's got to be put back, guess who got to pay for that? I said, let me tell you something. Before you talk about suites are awful, because it ain't for everybody now, you got to look at real hard numbers. When you pay the cost to be the boss, it is way more than just rent, lights, and electrical. It's way rent, lights, and gas. It's way more than that. It's great as long as don't nothing go wrong. When you pay, I know suites that even include your insurance. Now, I ain't even saying nothing about you got to pay liability. You got to mess around if you got booth renters. If you don't keep up with them having their own insurance, you got to cover them, because don't think because they booth renters that if something happened to their clients and they don't have insurance, they can't sue you. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So I told her, I said, now I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other, because it's, as they say, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It's just about how you want to look at it and what position you in. I said, but you talking about rent, lights, gas, all that. You talking about, unless your rent is stupid cheap. That's why I want people to buy their spaces instead of renting them, because you can save a lot of money when you buy it, and you can leverage the building, whether it's an office condo. You actually is a better investment when you own the space as opposed to renting it. That's a whole nother virtual training, okay? This is what I wanted her to understand. I think she said her rent $1,500, $1,600, okay? You have no idea what the utilities gonna be. You don't know. It's so many other variables. So you mean to tell me you rather pay $2,000, $2,500 and still have the risk of all the other responsibilities, but you don't want employees. You don't want them. So if you don't want them, then that's crazy to me. You need to go on a suite where you got fixed everything. You know exactly what your rent is going to be. And I told her, and guess what? You can build your business. You can trick it out, retail it up, have all this stuff being sold. If you got a suite big enough. When I had a suite, when I shut my last salon down, I opened one back, but I shut it down because I was traveling too much. Man, listen, I was doing training classes in there because I had a huge suite in Solar. I could get 10, 15 people in there. I'm making money training, and guess what? My rent stayed the same. I didn't have, when the pipes would burst or when something would flood, or I could walk right out the door. That ain't my responsibility. I made so much money being in a suite, and I was used to holding the whole kit and caboodle. I told her, I said, whether you know it or not, if you don't want employees, don't open a salon that requires employees. I said, or this. You don't want employees? Why did you order 4 chairs? Order one, maybe a second one for you. If you got an assistant, get that, and then trick out the place with retail and other stuff that make money. Use it for training. I don't care what you use it for. My thing is, if you don't leverage this space in some kind of way, then it's crazy to do it in the first place. So either you're going to leverage it with employees that's going to suck up some of these expenses, or you're going to leverage it with some other stuff that you retail and whatever else you want going on up in here. But to buy a space or to rent a space with the intention of having employees, because she ordered 4 chairs already. So why would you order 4 chairs? You going to use 4 chairs? I'm saying this, guys, because we're doing too many things, not looking at real numbers. How is this really going to work? We will never be stable. We will never be secure, and forget being free, because that's a whole nother mindset. I want you all to join me tonight. Join me tonight. I'm doing a virtual training. I'm about to break this thing down. You hear me? The virtual training is $99 freaking dollars. $99. You sit at your house. I sit in my office where I got everything set up like a whole virtual training studio, and I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you everything you need to do, how you need to look at it, real things you need to look at, what they cost, opportunities to get the stuff cheaper. I'm about to break this thing down. You hear me? Because I'm tired of us talking about, oh, it look like, I don't care what it look like. I ain't impressed by that. I ain't impressed by what you drive. I ain't impressed by what you wear. I'm not impressed by that. When I do private sessions on money for people, first thing I do when people walk in, women mostly, people walk in, I look at these designer bags. A couple people with red bottom shoes. Oh, that's cool. I ain't got no problem with that as long as it's in the budget. Look at them come in, and I tell them, I give them all the stories I could possibly give about the craziness I have done, because trust me, y'all ain't done nothing no crazier than the stuff I've done. I tell people I was the bootleg girl out there selling movies, purses, bags, hustling. I done did some stuff I'm too embarrassed to even tell y'all I done did, trying to make money work. And let me tell you something else too. Be careful when you don't pay attention to your money, because even those of us with the highest level of integrity, when you find yourself in financial situations where you're bleeding, you're crying every night, you're not sleeping, you will sometimes find yourself thinking or actually doing things that compromise everything you believe in, because you don't know what else to do. You don't know what else to do. I remember for years of my life, I was totally against payday loans. Totally. I don't believe in that. I ain't doing no title loans. I ain't doing none of that stuff. And I remember the one time I was being so raggedy, so frivolous with my money, and was making money. And I remember I got in a place where I compromised, and I went and got some payday loan someplace. And I remember my money still was raggedy. Now all I did was add to the debt, because guess what happened? I at the time couldn't pay the payday loan back, and then it went into collections, and then it caused a judgment on my credit that I then had to get off. So I didn't make my situation better. I made it worse. And I'm going to say something that it took me years to get this. You cannot, and I'm going to say this real close to this phone, you cannot use debt all the time to get out of debt. You got to be very careful using more debt, getting in more debt to get out of debt. It is a trap. It is a downward spiral that if you're using that to not, or to avoid looking at hard numbers, you're going to find yourself in a downward spiral that is never going to stop. And that's when you got to think about bankruptcy. Take it from a person that filed bankruptcy twice, not once, twice. And I vowed I would never do it again. Under no circumstances. I am finally out of the bankruptcy 10-year period. That's twice. So that's 20 years of my adult life. I was in bankruptcy status, because it takes really 10 years to get it off your credit. I said never again, because I was using debt. And it's now, there are times now, don't get me wrong, depending on how it's set up, if debt can clear everything up, don't take more debt to chip away at debt. Unless somebody gonna give you a check that's gonna pay for everything you got, it ain't worth it. You will find yourself tacking on. And the bottom line is, until you say mentally, I need to change my financial habits, I need to change the way I see money, the way I think about money, until you do that, you're just gonna produce more. And I have done it. Trust me, I have done it, and I know better. I get mad at myself. I'm like, I knew better. It wasn't until something clicked and said no more. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this, and then we're going to get off this phone, because I'm actually going to the party store to get all my stuff for my training. In the last part, and I will give you this. This is the things we're going to go through about being financially free. I'm going to break these down. So I know the training going to be about 5 hours. That's okay. One of the first things you have to do when you want to be financially free. Now, this way past stable. We got a list of stuff to be stable, a list of stuff to be secure, and I'm going to break down what you need to change. In order to be financially free, you have to first understand what is an asset and what is a liability. You got to understand your house ain't no asset. Now, it's something you can leverage, that you can get equity loans, you can do this, you can do that. Your house is really not an asset, whether y'all know it or not. Because trust me, I don't care if the house paid off. Don't pay the taxes and see who owned it. All right. So your house is really not an asset, unless you live somewhere where you may be connected to a commercial space, or you got somebody else, or you own the land and you got somebody else on your space that's paying for it. Think about it like this. An asset is something that you do not have to pay for with your money, with your hard-earned money. That is an asset. A liability is something that you have to take your hard-earned money and pay for. Now, if you got a house and you leveraging it and it ain't coming out of your money and somebody else paying for it, whether it's a tenant, whether it's this, then it's an asset. But just a house that you taking your check and paying for, that ain't no asset. So that's a whole nother level of understanding assets and liabilities. You have to eliminate dumb debt. Dumb debt is the same thing. Any debt that you are paying for out of your money that you bleed, sweat, and tear up for, your earned income. If you are paying for credit cards and it's just dumb stuff and it's coming out of your money and that money ain't coming from somebody else, it's called dumb debt. Smart debt is where you can take somebody else, or you can take your own money, flip it, and then subsequently get other people to pay loans back. Okay, that's a whole nother level. That's getting into the investment world. But when you want to be financially free, you got to understand that type of stuff. This is when you get to the point you realize, I ain't trying to do it all. That whole, I need to do everything, it ain't going to be done right, you way past that. That's when you happily delegate. You learn how to delegate. You learn how to give other people menial tasks that you don't have to do. That's when your time becomes the most valuable resource you have, and you realize you cannot be a one-man band. You got to delegate everything that you don't need to waste time on, and you got to be happy about doing it. Okay? That's when you really want to be financially free. That's when you'll find yourself attending conferences, webinars. You'll find yourself spending and investing your time, energy, and money in the things that are going to build you more wealth, more financial freedom, certain stuff that don't mean nothing. You don't care nothing about it. You don't want it. You don't need it. It don't mean you. You will find your values changing tremendously in this particular situation, because you won't care about that stuff no more. You be like, whatever, because I don't want it. You will clearly know what's a need and what's a want. You will know that when you really get to the point where you want to be financially free. 99% of people that are in this position, they got financial brokers, they got financial coaches, they have people that hold them accountable for their money, accountable for their decisions. They have people that they can go to, even if it's a lawyer, that literally can help them in making better financial decisions. This is when you realize that you need the collaboration of, that's when real mastermind groups come together. That's when you realize I need people that know more than me, that have done more than me, that are where I'm trying to go. I need to sit under them so that I can make, because when you look at people in this world, regardless of what situation you're in, somebody figured that thing out. Somebody figured it out. So you say, how they get there? They wasn't born with no silver spoon in their mouth. How did they get from homeless to here? That's why I love people like Tyler Perry. I would love to, I'd pay him to sit under him and say, how did you do this? How did you go from here to there? What are some of the things I need to look for? What do I need to change? When you want to be financially free, you will embrace connecting. You will try to go where these people are so you can connect and learn and grow and do all of that. You will learn to leverage everything you got. Everything you got. You will learn. If I'm in a house, look, I'm in that place of wanting to do that. I'm about our house, our regular house that we got. I done went to the village. How can I turn this house into 2 apartments? I'm going to leverage this thing. I know what the mortgage is. Mortgage is great. I want to turn it into 2 apartments. How can I do that? I want to dig on the outside, create a walkout basement. Look, we got water issues anyway. We got to handle them anyway. You want us to dig outside and handle it anyway. How about we dig outside and then just create some stairs? Instead of them throwing the dirt back in, create some stairs, turn to a walkout basement. I recognize taxes going to go up because it's going to increase the square footage. But we also now are going to be able to get two rents for a house that only has 1 mortgage and a reasonable mortgage on top of that, okay? You're going to want to leverage everything you got. That's when you're going to want to do less people in your shop. You're going to want to do less people, and you're going to say, how can I get this one person to leverage everything? That means that one person I got, I'm going to have a referral program for that one person. That means that one person I'm going to put on a client cycle. That means that one person, I'm actually going to have a savings and rewards program for that one person. That means I'm actually going, it's several things. When you go through the training, I'm going to show you how you can take 10 people, leverage them like they 30. Make them work for you. Okay, make them bring you more instead of doing 30 people. You don't have to do 30. You have to know how to leverage 10. Okay? I'm also going to teach you how you want to own everything you got. As Oprah say, you want to own it. Everything you got that you can own, you want to own it. You do not want to rent it. That's when I have people coming to me like, I want to own my building. I don't want to rent my salon no more. I don't want to rent my school. I want to own it. I want to actually own this space. What do I need to do to get myself positioned so my financials look right? Because let me tell you something. When you get into this space, you only as good as you look on paper. So all y'all hiding y'all money, not reporting this, not reporting that. Okay, keep doing it. When you get to the point you want to do stuff, you're not going to have the income to show. It's not about hiding money. It's about knowing how to not have to pay Sam all your money. Learning where to put money so you don't have to pay taxes. So you don't have to. I wanted to learn. Y'all mad at Donald Trump? Yeah, I know he crazy. But when they talk about dude don't pay no tax, I want to know how he don't pay taxes. I've literally investigated. Okay, I want to know. Call them whatever you want to call them. I want to know how rich people get out of paying taxes. I learned how they do that, guys. And it's legal. Ain't nothing wrong about it. You're going to want to learn. How can I get around paying Sam? How can I defer this? How can I just avoid it altogether? What do I need to do? When you want to be financially free, you go embrace that type of stuff. Let me tell you what else you're going to do. You're going to read more. You're going to read. You're going to realize the only thing in your life that changes your position is information. You're going to realize the only thing that will change your position is the knowledge you acquire and what you do with it. That's it. Ain't nothing else going to change that. So you will be a knowledge seeker. You will find yourself, I'm up at night in my bed with earphones on, listening to YouTube videos from financial gurus till I fall asleep sometime. I just want to hear, what did they do? How do I change this? How do I fix this? It's all intellectual. This ain't emotional. Okay? You're going to want to understand about real estate, taxes. You're going to want to understand that. You're going to want to say, how do these people get from here to there? There are other things they did, and I mean, they looking good too now, but there were cycles where they probably had to say, I can't buy no shoes. I can't go shopping right now. I can't spend all my money. Now, when you create a budget, you have a part of your budget that's for fun stuff. I ain't saying you got to live deprived, but you still can't blow the budget buying stuff that you can't afford right now. Or as Robert Kiyosaki says, you don't have to say I can't afford it. Just say, how can I afford it? How can I afford it then? What I need to do to be able to afford this? And then last but not least, and this is only in being financially free, guys, you have to learn how to say this very simple word, and it is no. You are gonna have to learn how to say the word no. Sometimes no, I just can't do it. No, I can't go. No, I'm not buying it. No, I'm not doing that. You gonna have to learn sometimes to just say no. Just no. And you ain't gotta explain all the time why you not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Your family want to go on a whole vacation, gonna cost $5,000-$6,000. No, I can't do that right now. No. I'll holler at y'all maybe on the 3rd year when we do it. No, I'm not going. I'm not doing. You may have to be the odd man out, but let me tell you something about being the odd man out. If you do it enough, while they spending theirs and you get yours together, when they get in trouble, you now will become the lender and not the borrower. Because you now will become the person they can go to help them from spending all their money when they done got themselves in a jam. All right? Y'all with me? I would love for you all to join me on this virtual training. I said, God, I have no idea how I got in this space. As raggedy as I was with my money, I said, who knew that I would be teaching people about finances? I understand God's divine order is so sovereign. It's so amazing. Only God knew that I had to be raggedy over and wake up one day and say, no more. I'm done with this. And get it. And now when I'm able to get that back to people, I'm able to tell you what I know. I ain't telling you what I think. It ain't nothing y'all can tell me that I ain't done. I'm talking mixing money, being shady stuff, the whole 9 yards. It is very few things you can tell me that you have done that I have not tried, and it didn't work. And I did something like it again or worse, and it didn't work. And it wasn't until I woke up and said, no more. No more. I'm getting too old for this. I'm getting too old to be robbing the Peter to pay Paul. I'm getting too old that if I don't feel good and I got real ailments and got to have surgery, I can't take off work because I need the money. Let me tell you something. It broke my heart. I still remember this. I don't even remember what shop I was in. I had to do a site visit with someone I was coaching them. Went into the salon. This girl in there had a bad car accident, obviously. That's what they told me happened. She, guys, had on a full body cast. Full body cast, all the way up to here. She had the hard, like regular cast stuff, the stuff that they mold together from like hip down. And from the waist up, she had like whatever the football people's, that hard plastic, whatever that stuff is made out of. It's like a breastplate. She had that from like right below her pelvic area all the way up to here. And so she's looking like this, right? I'm watching this girl do hair in this situation, right? I'm watching her, what they did. They helped her to position her chair where they backed it all the way up like to a wall. So they had to move the station over, back it all the way up to a wall. She basically is leaning on the wall doing hair. The one leg must have been worse than the other, and she had to keep it elevated. So they got that leg propped up on a stool. They got the hydraulic chair pulled all the way to her so that she can do her customers. And I'm watching her do customers where they're like this. They're literally like this. They have to lean into her for her to do their hair. I was so floored. And actually, this wasn't the cycle when I had this was early. This was in my coaching days when I wasn't even officially coaching. I was just helping somebody. And my stuff wasn't even all the way together. It was definitely way better where I didn't have to do that because I had the necessary insurances and things if something like that happened to me. But I'm watching this and I'm like, we got to do better. We got to do better. We, meaning my tribe, my salon professionals, my salon owners, barbershop owners. This cannot be what we're dealing with. I was heartbroken. I was for real heartbroken. Like, that girl didn't want to be here. She didn't want to be here. Nobody wants to have to work in that situation. But guess what, guys? She didn't have a choice. And I get it. So join me tonight. Let me help you be able to get yourself together to create choices in your life. You first got to get stable, guys. That means, and actually really no is, I should have put no even under financially stable. You got to really learn how to say no even just to get stable. You got to get financially stable. That means if it means I got to give up some stuff, if I got to get rid of the car, if I got to keep the car I got and just pay it off because ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't care what it is that you got to do. And you have to be willing to make some of those very difficult transitions and decisions or you'll never get there, guys. You got to get free from people. You got to get to the point where you like, look, this is the way I need to do this for me and whatever that requires. If you living in a place the rent is too high, when your lease is up, downsize, I don't care what you got to do. But if you want to get stable, you're going to have to change some things, okay? So join me tonight. And actually after probably about 6 p.m., the link will not be available. I will not be able to take anybody else because I need to know going in how many are actually there because we need to have time to add you. I have to act. This is a private Facebook page. After 6 p.m., I'm not going to be paying attention to add nobody to. So as of 6 p.m., if you want to join me and spend 3 to 5, it's Central Time. If you want to join me, spend 3 to 5 hours getting this thing down. I'm giving you real things to do. This ain't just me talking at you like I do in the morning. This is me giving you a real strategy on how to get there. I have no problem, as you all know, using some of my things that I've done. I'm extremely transparent. It don't bother me one bit. So I am going to help those that want to be helped. If you are interested, all you have to do is click the link in the heading of this. Please share this, guys. Hit everybody, every group you're in, every person that you think needs this directly, direct message them. Share, 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 share. Because if we don't, guys, I'm seeing people, you got shops closing, folks selling shops, trying to sell shop. That's a whole nother conversation. They trying to sell shops and the shop ain't worth nothing. What are you selling? All right, that's a whole nother conversation. But we basically having to walk away from our dreams because we don't understand how to make them reality and to be able to live, survive, thrive, take care of kids and all of that from these dreams that we birthed. If you don't make these changes, you will not survive. So join me tonight, 7 to 10 p.m., but you have to pre-register before 6 p.m. Central. It is called the Money Trinity, guys. And I'm going to break this thing down for you. And we're going to teach you how to be financially stable first, then financially secure, then financially free. And it don't happen overnight. Don't get mad if you can't do it overnight. Trust me. There are certain cycles of your life you're going to have to focus on one thing first and then get yourself into the other position. But one thing that does happen, it don't happen overnight, but when you get laser focused, it happens a lot quicker than you think. When you get to the point you like, as they say, for God I live and for God I die. When you get that focused about your money and getting it right, you'll be amazed at how quickly you are actually able to get in better situations because that's all you see. You just tunnel vision. So let me help you get there. This is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. If you want to know more about what I do, go on knowledgebynikki.com. You'll see a lot of the things that I do. I just want to help you. I think I actually even have the link up there. I think the link is actually up there. Go on my website. I think I still left the link up for this particular class. And I don't know whether it says $99. It was $149. I lowered the price. It is, when you click the link, it'll say $99. So if I haven't changed on the website, it is $99. That's for 3 to 5 hours of some stuff that'll change your life. So share this, check it out. Peace out. Those of you all that are already signed up, I'll see you now. And I am taking questions at the 40th of every hour. So 7:40, 8:40, 9:40. I will be taking 20 minutes of questions. That's what I'm going to do. 20 minutes of questions, because we'll be finishing one segment. Then we'll go into another. Okay, that's how this is going to roll. I'm going to be putting up a list of things in probably by about noon. Of things, if you want to not just watch me, but you want to go out and get some stuff to do it with me, I'll be putting up a list of things that you can actually do this with me. And I just all that wanted, I realize everybody ain't ready, because when you get honest about your money, you get honest about everything. It's not just your money. And some of y'all ain't ready to be accountable yet, because it's going to require you to have or take some accountability. All right? So I'll see y'all hopefully tonight. Those of you all that want to sign up, sign up. Sign up now. I add you to the page. And we'll go from there. So, Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. Happy Monday. And I'm out.